What's up, YouTube? MKohl40 here. We're going to be answering your questions that you guys want my opinion on, or to the best that I can answer for you guys. So let's dig into these. Team Matoshe OTK asks, can Frog FTK ever be a thing again? I don't think so. Mass Driver's gone. Toon Cannon Soldier would be your only fodder, and Substitute's going to be in jail forever unless he comes back and is errated the once per turn, which I definitely think wouldn't be a bad option, especially to have him get re-errated following all Japanese trend. I think the card could come back if it was once per turn effect. Outside of that, no, Frog FTK won't ever be a deck again. It was very degenerate, probably one of the worst things we ever had. Simon Marshall says, with the limiting of Morale Attack, is Neo's Alias a good replacement in Shaddolls? With Spark, of course. No, it isn't. You're living too much on the dream that Stratos is a thing. He isn't. Keep in mind that our Artifact engine wasn't really that good in the first place in the deck. Now, there were better versions of Shaddolls that I don't think a lot of people really caught on to. Check on ARG's page. There will be other deck lists that aren't the Artifact engine that I believe are much better. Will Evil Swarm ever be Tier 1 again? I don't think they were ever Tier 1 in the first place, Morton. To be honest, the deck was only good against other anti-meta decks because you could go Infection, make your Ophion immune, 25-50, 25-50, 25-50 through. The deck was good against the special summon decks as well. Make your opponent not draw through level 5 or higher monsters, but I found that Evil Swarm was just better against other anti-meta decks. In a format where anti-meta back row heavy decks don't exist, Evil Swarm I don't think will ever be a thing. LOL you Matt ask, is there viable options for Evil Swarm to combat Dekoseka and the matchup and the MKohl40 side and main deck options as well? The only real thing that you can do, and I hate to say this, is turn 1 Ophion. Turn 1 Ophion against a Dekoseka normal summon. I think you'll be in a little bit better of a position. I mean, let's be honest though, most Netcloth players are going to blow you up anyway if the only thing that you have is just an Ophion with some back row. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. As for MKohl40, their deck is much more consistent than Evil Swarm. Everything can be normal summoned. Double, triple sacrilege gets over Ophion. There's not really much you can do about it. If they can somehow combo up for the tribute summons, you're going to be in a much worse position. Plus, they have skill drain. So, you know, the fact that everything can be normal summon, you have to keep your opponent at an edge the entire game if you're playing against MKohl40. But once they get into their side, I think you're just going to get blown out anyway. It sucks to say that, but there's not much else that Evil Swarm can really do at the moment. When it comes to decks, would it be key for what rarities that would come out for each archetype to be a good deck in the current meta? I believe Jonathan is asking if based on the deck or the card's rarity in the TCG will be an indicator if the deck is good. It can be. The other thing is, I think you're underestimating the fact that players already have knowledge of what's going to be good based on what we read from Japan as well. Because V-Jump does come out. I know a lot of players go in the organization and read about what's going to be the new hotness, things like that. A lot of players can make their own decisions on what's going to be good and what's not going to be good based on the card text as they're released. So, things like Virgil, Dante should have been clear indicators that they were going to be good. AJ asks, do you think Heroes will be viable, like Tier 1 next format, after the TCG Structure Deck release, even with Stratos still serving his life sentence? What would they need to possibly be Tier 1 next format that's not Super Poly after the Structure Deck? They won't, unfortunately. They need a Stratos and probably Super Poly to even be Tier 1. The loss of Super Poly in the TCG was even more detrimental to Heroes than you could have imagined. Stratos should have came back if Super Poly went away. Mass Change Second will probably be the only thing from Heroes that will be even seeing play, to be honest with you guys. And I only say that because Mass Change Second is a thing. Mass Change Second, Dark Law through Shaddolls, and Mass Change Second, your water dudes into acid, pop your opponent's back row, make your Netcloth matchup even funner. ZZ Gogeta as. Oh, I liked it when it was as, but what would be your dream job? My dream job, honestly, I've been talking to a friend of mine for probably 2 to 3 years about opening up a card shop. Be something I wouldn't mind doing. I also wouldn't mind being college professor, talking about ethics. Ethics was actually the one class I took in college that I enjoyed the most. Just overall, in general, I enjoy just hearing about and learning about the way people function, the way that they make choices, and general things like that. Definitely wouldn't mind one of those two things, though, to be honest with you. What card do you want the most to come off the Forbidden List? Crush card. This is post-errata. I definitely think that popping out the SJC one would definitely be hella fun, Mr. Cold. So, just go Giga Brilliant. Ask Bujin or Quillfort. Quillfort. I love the Evangelion reference. Even though Bujin did get dual honest, I think the consistency of Quillfort is just much better. However, Bujins are mad budget. So, base that on your answer. You want a good deck that might get hidden list, or a deck that's already been hidden list that's budget. No wired gaming. My question is, MKohl40, how to grow a Yugi channel with just DevPro duels. I'm going to be honest with you, you're not going to have a lot of success. You need to be able to change up your list. Now, I'm saying that because if I do too much of one thing on this channel, people will get mad. Too many duel videos, people will get angry. People are always happy with live duels. Live duels always make people happy. Too many deck profiles can always be a bad thing as well. Doing too many trade binder videos. My personal experience, mix things up. Pack openings, duel videos. Too much of one thing, though, will overbog your audience and they will not be happy with you. Lewis wants to know when I'm fixing this hole in my wall. I'm never going to fix it. The reason is, dun 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 dun, I'm not trying to drink water or anything to, like, be sarcastic or anything. Just helps me speak clear because my throat dries out. But the way that my room is organized, I have a king-size bed here, my desk here, and over here is my hole in my wall. So when I have a very small space for my chair, so when my chair swings for my fat ass to get up, my shit goes into the wall. So there's no real point in me fixing the wall, because unfortunately I'm just going to tear back into it again. I know a lot of you guys don't like seeing the hole in the wall, or you guys are just sarcastic and you enjoy seeing the hole in the wall. But the point is, unfortunately, it's going to be there for quite some time. Robert wants to know, what is my favorite deck aside from gadgets? Frog FTK. Solitaire, straight 5 minutes, walk away. Quickest matchups I ever did play at locals. Marnab wants to know, why are the Dragons of Legend fusion cards in the Eye of Timaeus going up in price recently? This is, I guess, pretty self-explanatory. They're anime-based cards. There are collectors in the game. There's a lot of cards that you wouldn't think that are actually expensive. Like Zodia pieces are good to solid $4 to $5. It's all because the collector's hype. Plus, people are anticipating that there will probably be Helmos and Critios getting released sometime in the near future as well. So people are like, oh, we're going to stock up on them now. I mean, if you have them, it's a free $10 or so for every one of them you sell. I mean, I'd take it. Team Honey Badger plays Vanguard. Ask, with Konami's decision to semi-limit Dark Hole with the increased chance of an OTK. Okay. Dark Hole should have been to 3 long before Raigeki went to 1. So I can definitely see Dark Hole going to 3. Raigeki had no business coming back before Dark Hole went to 3. Dark Hole, Monster Present isn't really that present anymore. Also, do I have any other hobbies besides Cardfight, Vanguard, and Yugioh? Why Shores is my guilty addiction. It's the game I enjoy playing for probably fun. Outside of that, anime is about it. I'm actually a very linear person. Will you test the new hero support when it comes out? I've already kind of tested it. It sucks. Mass Change 2nd is going to be about the only real thing that I see even getting play. Do you think of myself as a pro or a casual player? I would say I'm in the middle. When I play this game, I like to play it competitive, but I will play fun decks competitive, trying to win. So, like I said, I'm in the middle. I'm definitely not a pro player. I mean, I've had my moments in the sun, but I would say I'm very middle ground when it comes to this game. Mr. Haseo, what is your favorite card game, including any that might not be in print anymore? I'd probably say Wise is my current favorite game. I enjoy the luck aspect of Vanguard, but I enjoy the competitive system that Wise has. One of the things I've learned about that game is the game is very skill based. Yes, it can be very luck based as well, but I just like the card interactions and things like that, in how the general interactions of the cards work. How do my legs look? How do you think the legs on a 6'4" tall fat man look? Pretty beefy. I'm not gonna lie. Also, for my other favorite YouTubers, I'd probably say Vexicus4666. I also like watching Galactic Gods openings. Those are probably it for my favorites. I am subbed to Asian Eyes and Cyber Knight, but there's just nothing really that catches my interest from either of them that I don't already do. Are you satisfied or not that Konami hasn't hit any of the Kohl40 or Burning Abyss? I'm indifferent. You gotta understand that they just came out. It's to be expected that they haven't hit them yet. Give it time. They will. But from previous trends and things like that, it should be noted that it wouldn't be a thing as of yet. So, Slifford student, I'm probably destroying your name, I'm sorry. MKohl40, when and how did you discover your love for gadgets? I've been playing gadgets competitively since 07. I always used to look at Japanese decks back in 06, and I saw that gadgets were doing really good in Japan. I kind of fell in love with them because they were destroying chaos with Royal Oppression. There's just something that I really liked about the cards in general, and the overall interactions that they were doing to the game, because chaos was so feared here in the US. They were kind of like the Lord and Savior when I saw them. So I kind of just fell in love with them at the time. I've just been kind of my thing. Plus, I've had the chance to meet great people through gadgets like Jordan Nazar and Justin Delhan. If you guys don't know them, unfortunately, they've kind of fallen off the face of the planet. But I met Jordan Nazar at my first regional back in 2007. I actually ended up playing him. He ended up not playing gadgets that event, so I really didn't know much about him outside of me playing him on the bubble. Ended up, he played gadgets in Minneapolis at the YCS that year, and I was like, oh, holy crap. Ended up finding out the guy had a really big love for the deck like I did. So we ended up becoming friends. I met Delhan after he topped Canada, got third place. Me and Nazar and him kind of formed like the uniformal league of gadgets. I've actually been really good friends with the guy that went to Worlds this year with gadgets as well. Very nice guy as well. But it's just one of those things. It's a close net of people that I've met through the game that enjoy playing the deck. So I hope that answers my love for the deck. Is the metagame going to get faster? Much faster. For instance, Ghoulies can search Scout in like 9 ways. Do you think some decks can actually surpass that? I would say yes. You have to remember, Konami typically makes national run formats. March, April, May, June formats for nationals much faster, because they really want nationals to not take forever, and I can understand that. I know a lot of people haven't really caught on to the trend, the trend that the game slows down for the September list. And the game is usually fast-paced for nationals, so this is Konami ramping up going into the national format. I would definitely say that things could definitely get a lot worse than they already are. Thoughts on the ban list? The ban list was pretty straightforward. Our September list is probably going to be a massacre next year. What kind of decks do you want to see in the future? More anti-meta. We need it. My first deck I built, Yugioh the starter deck. I'm actually working on something for Formal Pal. I gathered up all the cards. Just got to put them together in a deck. And if your budget, build Performals or not Burning Abyss, Battling Boxers. I would say you could get the entire deck for like $20, hands down, with all the reprints. How did I get into Yu-Gi-Oh? Kevin asked. Actually got into the game through Pokemon. One of my friends at Locals, who I was very close to at the time, actually ended up getting into Yu-Gi-Oh about the same time I did. So I remember going to Pokemon Locals, playing with our Yu-Gi-Oh starter decks. We kind of phased out Pokemon in our area, but it was always a lot of fun playing with my friend Mike Payne back in the day. Unfortunately, he moved away and I lost contact with him over the years. But you know, that happens. But that's the story of how I got into Yu-Gi-Oh. Saw the TV show. I was like, I'm gonna buy some cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! Man Forever. What do you think of the troll decks in the game, like Chainbird, Exodia versus the meta? Kudos to you. You deserve to win if you are playing a well-built troll deck. I think troll decks keep the game fresh for some players. You have to understand that there's much more to this game than just your casual pro player. People like to troll people at regionals, and I definitely think that it's good that the game has that. Dylan asks, my question is, if you could choose one card to get banned, now what would it be? And if you could choose one card to get unbanned, what would it be? And why to both? Alright, so what do I get to ban? Oh man, I only get to ban one? It's actually really hard. I'd probably ban Burning Lake of the Abyss, because having a triple Icarus attack is ridiculous. I'd probably unban Crush Card with the errata. Having your opponent have the ability to destroy 3 monsters in the deck, so you Crush Card, Burning Abyss, your opponent destroys 3 different named Burning Abyss. Wee! Free pluses! It just doesn't seem as good as it used to be. I definitely think that'd be my reasoning to both. I just think Burning Abyss needs to be put in check by killing Lake, and I'd Crush Card for the humor factor. Adam wants to know, will I make a Charmer deck for the 25 Days of Christmas? Probably not. I do love Charmers with a passion, though. I will say that. I will try to do something in the future. Will I open Elemental Energy? EN. I think I've opened up some. I might in the future. Buying packs is expensive. It's not something I enjoyed losing money on. They do have the bargain bin at the Columbus Regionals, so I might spend $30 buy 3 for 5 packs. I had a good chunk open up some. Will Snatch Steel impact the game in any way, since it's back at 1 in the TCG? The threat of Snatch Steel does exist. Like I said in my last video, I made a choice of saying that MST was a counterable source to the card. I just think the card's not as good, and once the results get going, I think more people will see that, so I would give it some time. Why do you use DN DevPro for the vast majority of your profiles now? I don't have a lot of the new cards. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. It's a pain in my ass going and gathering up a bunch of cards to profile a real life deck of a deck that I'm not going to really play. And I know it can be irritating to see that, but it's just for convenience and time. The amount of time and effort that went to making a Vanguard to work truly showed your dedication, which allowed you to distinguish yourself from thousands of other YouTubers. Is your passion for this game lessening? Somewhat. I taken a break because I'm busy doing stuff in life at the moment. I haven't got the chance to really go to locals. I've been playing more Vanguard than anything. I still have an interest. I'm usually on Skype a majority out of my day, listening to my friends play Yugioh, so I mean, it's not like I'm not keeping up with the game, but there just reaches a fine line that you just like, so much is enough. And at the end of the day, I would say that the overall game is getting worse, but I will probably pick back up playing Netcloth in February. Definitely kind of looking forward to the Spirit Beast. Like I said, $150 should be able to get me all 3 decks, and that seems good enough to me. If I could design a gadget, what color would it be? We need fucking Purple Gadget. We've been joking about this forever. I don't know what Purple Gadget's going to do. It'd probably have the ability to search for any of the three, to be honest. Or, like, discard a card, add 3 copies of all the gadgets to your hand or something ridiculous like that. Dollar Binder, Gilberto, I'm not sure when. I kind of just unloaded a bunch of bulk to Jobber, so I'm not really sure if that's going to happen anytime soon. I've been playing this game since the beginning. How long do you see this game lasting? I figured the game would have died at the 10-year mark. Do you think the current Radis is Konami doing to some of the to make the game healthier? I would say yes. Eradicating the old cards is a good step in the right direction. I definitely like what they're attempting to do. It allows them to fix some of their previous mistakes. Just a shame that it took Konami Japan 15 years to figure out it was the formula to success. Do I have any hobbies besides card games? Any video games you play or stuff that you're really into? I mean, excluding the most common one, anime. I'm not really a big video gamer. I love the Walking Dead trilogy. I enjoy watching horror movies in general. Zombie is my favorite genre. I do play a lot of Brave Frontier on my phone. I'm level 126 now. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, that I put that much time into this game. It's a lot of fun, to be honest. See, level 127. But I just enjoy the fun of the game. Outside of that, just anime in general. Are there any decks that you want to see get more support in Crossover Souls? Fucking Charmers. Make that deck tier 1, please. I don't know how you can do it, but I want to see Charmers be a tier 1 deck. I think everyone would just crap their pants when the 1850 Possessed Charmers hit the board. It just seems like it'd be fun. Do you think Volcanics will be good next format? Depends on if we get a TCG exclusive or not. They're getting good support. I mean, very good. But I definitely think they need a little bit more to push them off the edge to make them a good deck. John Lai asks, can I start doing card videos? Sir, have you not noticed the last 20-some videos that I've done? They've been in my house. They have been of me doing deck profiles. Please, understand that card videos were just a much more convenient way for me to be more vibrant and much more myself in terms of, talking, being louder, being more obnoxious, general things like that. I've cut back on them. I figured a lot of people cut on by now, but I guess not. Am I planning on building super defense robos? Austin Carter asks. Not for a while. I might cover them in the 25 Days of Christmas, but it's not on my to-do list. Bruce is asking what he should major in. Major in something that you enjoy. To be honest, college, you'll probably change your major at least once or twice. They always talk about how you might do it a couple more times. But I'm definitely going to say that pick something that you're going to enjoy doing in life. Pick things that interest you in general. From my personal experience, I started in business. I rotated over into, I don't even remember what my major was. I've got a couple more classes to finish it. It was in business, but it wasn't business. That's why I don't remember, as bad as that sounds. Rainmaster asks, what do you think of Magic the Gathering and how it has more viable competitive decks? Just want your overall thoughts on the Godfather of TCG. I've played Magic. I've dabbled a little bit in reading about it. It's not a game for me. I understand that the game is very good for what it is, and it was pretty much the original TCG, but it's not my style of game. Sox fan 7996 asks, if you still have your Gear Giga deck, can you do a deck profile soon? This deck right here. Alright. I'm pretty sure that this deck is not even legal at the moment. Okay, this deck is so bad that it's only got... Okay, this should tell you when I last played Yu-Gi-Oh! There's still 3 Gear Giga in here. It'll be a while before I even attempt to update this. I really don't have much of an interest in playing this at the moment. I only built it because it was so cheap at the current time. Let's see here. The Psychics. If you could make a card If you could make a card on the ban list unlimited, what would it be and why? Crush card with current errata, pretty straightforward. Which archetype would you give support to? Charmers. They need a lot. I think that deck would be fun. Do you think Konami should dissolve archetypes and let players figure out what's next or what works? We've already had that phase in the game. They were called generic cards. And, you know, I think archetypes are good. I think the problem is Konami just stopped making generic cards. And we need generic cards to come back. Definitely. One of the things that I've definitely learned throughout the course of playing this game is generic cards make Tier 3, Tier 2 decks viable, and we definitely need those cards to return. What are my top 3 favorite anime? Ooh, number 1 is probably Clanad. Number 2 is probably Kimigazo no Mu Ian, which is called Rumbling Hearts. And probably some Gundam series. I'm a Kira Yamano fanboy. I enjoyed that Gundam series in general. But definitely, probably some Gundam series. I really do love Build Fighter, but I don't know if I'd put it on my top 3 for current anime. In the crossover Souls pack, with the new pendulums that splashes with the other archetypes, which one would actually work in the archetype that came from the original easy mixed with Sapphiras? I'm not sure, to be honest. They're all interesting. I don't remember their effects off the top of my head. I would definitely just pick the one that you feel benefits you the most. Do you think Shadol artifacts can still be competitive, since Morale Attack is now at 1, and I replaced him with Scythe, and it obviously isn't good, but it disrupted a lot of my opponent's plays. Also, which Yang Zing do you think is the cutest? I like the little fire one, first off. A little fire Yang Zing with his little talon fangs. I also think that Shadol artifacts are dead. Just go sell your sanctums, get your loss of money from them. There are other builds to artifacts that I definitely think that you can play. My favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Mirage of Nightmare. I have 100 and some copies of it. Someday the card will come back. I just enjoyed playing the deck against Chaos, merging provisions for 3 cards. So cute, the amount of plays that you could do. What cards do you want to see come back? Crush card. What cards do you want hit? Burning Lake of the Abyss. Which rogue decks you would like to see come back with new support? Gladiator Beast. Konami's going to learn eventually that they need to do something to make them good again. Should the game be more about meta vs rogue, anti-meta, or should every rogue deck have support, just as good support as the current meta decks? You gotta remember, you can't give generic cards to all decks without the tier 1 decks receiving those exact same cards. That's why too much back row was considered bad by Konami. Because Solemn Warning at 3, okay, I'm going to just slip 3 copies of those in my tier 1 deck and my rogue deck. And you know what? My rogue deck wins not because that I'm playing Heraldic Beast, but because I had triple Solemn Warning in my opening hand. And a monster that can attack for 2100. Knight of Merc asks 9 plus 10 is obviously 2. Ed Jemison 3. Do you think heroes will be viable, like tier 1 next format? We've already talked about this. I'm gonna say no. Fancy casual Yu-Gi-Oh player. Do you think Bujin's Lightsworn or any other popular deck could be tier 1.5 because Honest is up to 2? I definitely think that Lightsworn Dragon Ruler is a ticking time bomb ready to happen again. Honest to 2 scares the crap out of me, and it scares the crap out of a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. I don't think that it should have happened, to be honest with you. What does the M and the 40 stand for in your name? I actually stole this account from my father. He made it to look up porn on YouTube. M stands for Michael, which is also my middle name. It's robbie-kohl. And then Michael is his name, Kohl is my last name, and 40 was the age in which he made this account. Very simplistic. The Mega Link 55. Why is Advanced Ritual Art still semi-limited? I know people submitted stuff to Konami thinking the ARA should be at 3. I definitely think it will happen somewhere along the line. Cloud66. When you're making videos in your car, are you actually going somewhere, or do you just drive around until you're done? I'm typically going to get food. Walmart, anything else like that. It's pretty straightforward. I live in the country, so there's like a 7-minute drive to town, so there's always time to, make a video. Koopa King 9 asks, do you have some sort of college degree, and if so, what major is it in? I'm a couple of classes away from finishing my business degree. It's like business, but it's not business, if that makes sense. I could never pass pre-calculus. I needed a C to advance in the correct business curriculum. Couldn't do it. I actually dropped out of the class first time because I couldn't understand the professor. I actually really hated that asshole. My second time through, I got a D, and I put so much time and effort into the class that I was so disappointed putting an extra 10, 20 hours into the class a week that I ended up just saying, screw it, I'm changing my major. And, if you guys have been in college, you'll understand the disappointment that one can feel, just because, that much time and effort can really put you down. So I believe I just have to pass 2 or 3 more classes, and I'm good to go. I'm kind of just taking a break for a short amount of time. There's no real reason for me to really finish up my college degree. I'm busy with life things. It'd make my life a pain in my ass if I attempted to go back to college at the moment. Ham Banana 5555. Will you make a Snatch Steel Sack compilation video so I can see all the scrubs squirm thinking the card is broken? I actually might do that. I do like that idea. Young Flight asks, Flight, what do you think will be the best decks of the next format? Neckcloth, Quillfort, Burning Abyss, Tier 1, Tier 1.5, Dolls, and Satella Knights, and Mermails, and possibly Lightsworn. Seems like it'll be good. Extreme Bullet Bill asks, are you straight or gay? I am straight, hands down. You might think that I'm gay because I talk with my hands a lot, but it's just something that I've kind of picked up over the years. Evolved Card Player asks, can you give an in-depth list on how we as a player base can improve ourselves? Let's see here. I would say talk to other players that you deem that are good at the game. Learn about their card interactions and card choices, general things like that. Get a good community of players together and talk your ideas out with other players and Theorio. I would definitely develop your Theorio as one of the key traits, but I will consider making a video on that in the future. Is something that's being requested, though, because I definitely think I can expand a lot more into that. Patrick Jones asks, what do you think will come off the ban list next? Crush Card. Actually, probably a good chunk of what just got limited in Japan. I definitely think Sinister Serpent can come back now as well. Same thing with, I don't know why Cyber Saiyan's still banned either. Do you think cards like Tribe Infecting Virus and Liquid or Premature Burial can come back without an errata? Premature can't come back because of Hidden Armory. That card's a lot more threatening than Hidden Armory. Delinquent Duo, probably not. Same thing with Forceful Century Confiscation. Those cards are just too broken. Same thing with Tribe. Discarding one card to pop a massive amount of monsters is pretty imbalanced. Would you consider the new hero support coming along with Necros, Hermits, and Spirit Beast to replace the current Burning Abyss, Quillfort, and Shaddoll? Well, Shaddoll is going to get kicked out of the big 3 by Neckcloth, but Hermits and Spirit Beast I don't think are good enough to keep up with them. Why do so many videos while driving? It's pretty straightforward. It just gave me the chance to be a little bit more opinionated and a lot louder instead of my, being in my own house. Hellas Mexi for the win asks, is Mind Crush low-key broken right now? Depends on the amount of searching that you're being involved with in your metagame. I would definitely say possibly. And Hellas Mexi asked why he's naked. Probably because it was 3 a.m. when you were making this comment. I'm just saying. So, Oliver Robin, what are my top 5 rogue decks that compete with the meta? Oh god. I don't think they exist. Any anti-meta deck that Jobber comes up with would be one. Probably Plant Synchro. Maybe Mermails with a new list. I can't think of anything else though. Do you think it's possible to bring back decks like Salvodad, Plant Synchro, and other decks that were good in the past that got cards back from the Forbidden list? Plant Synchro is probably going to be about it. Salvo Dad won't be so much. Mermails are back at full steam, though. So, the answer to your question, I believe, will be dependent on how Mermails interact with their full list of cards. What deck am I running right now? I don't have a deck besides Mermails, which isn't even updated yet. Like I said, it's been quite some time since I played Locals. Gadgets was the only real thing I had playing, and that list was from a format ago. What build of Gadgets are you running right now, or did you give up on them? No. Well, I've kind of put them in a box for the time being. The deck is just chilling right there. Overall, though, I really haven't had much of a want to play this game, so they're just kind of sitting there. But when I did play at NLG, I did end up using a previous build. I did Pooty on Satellar's pretty hard, but Trap Trick Strap Hole is kind of terrible against Shadal's, things I've learned. What deck would I like to see become competitive? That is not competitive. Charmers. When you watched the original ending of the Yugioh series, did you want to see Yugi's life without a Tem? Also, do you think they ended the right way? The new movie looks like it's going to be an ending to, or a story past that. We can finally see little Yugi grow up. I think that the anime ended the right way. It's good that they're expanding on that, though. Or at least that's what the hype train is on right now. Gale the Whirlwind. As someone who's very new to Yugi tubing, I'd like to know if you have any advice to people starting out like myself. Like I said, enjoy doing what you do. Network with other Yugi tubers. Show people like Underworld, show people like Galactic God that you do have something unique on your channel, and they will let you put a video on their channel. They'll shout you out, and it'll help you grow. You have to understand that the grind is real to do something like this. It's definitely my 2 cents, though. But make sure you enjoy what you do, and prove that you are unique in some way, shape, or form. Mr. TXR Legend. What decks outside of the big 3 will do better before Secret Forces comes out? Mermails. Hands down. Triple Gunde, possibly Light Swarm. Homeboy. Where do you see Shadalls this format? I see them at 1.5. They've fallen... I think they're falling out of the big 3 for Netcloth, hands down. They lost Super Poly, which was one of their immediate outs to most decks. So, time's up, Shadalls. Time to become the next Evil Swarm. Alakazam, 1313MC. Would you prefer Denkasek as a side card or a main card? He's really proving his worth as a main deck in the current TCG. It's just such a blowout card. Why would you not want to play Cold Wave? MKohl40. Are there any rogue or simply decks that got a few cards but not enough that really make a deck from that you'd like to see more support? And if so, which decks? Like I said, I'd definitely like to see Charmers get some support in some way, shape, or form. Slow Lobster. What are your opinions on Gravekeepers? More support. Soon, say more, Juicy. You can return to your deck that you love. Do you enter tournaments like YCSs with gadgets or with meta? Do you play locals with meta or gadgets? Depends on the day and the time. If I have a good build of gadgets, I will play gadgets. If I have something like Teledad in my hands, I will play Teledad. I have topped with Teledad and Shadalls and Windups. Those are the only 3 decks that I have topped a regional with that aren't gadgets. Necroface Teledad was ridiculous for its time, and I loved it. Windup, the hand loop, I topped 2 regionals with. I was the master of destroying Jeff Jones with the top deck Heavy Storm. To top 1 regional in Michigan. It was pretty sacktastic. Outside of that, of my 23 regional tops, Shadalls, 1 Teledad, and 2 Windups, and then 19 with gadgets. What is the best way to get into Vanguard, like going from Yugioh into Vanguard? I would just say pick up the game and try it. If you don't like it, don't waste your time. You know, that's honestly the only advice I can give you if you want to try the game. What do you believe will become a legitimate threat in the future? Kind of like Burning Abyss and Quills, how do you think newer decks like Spirit Tamers are going to impact the meta? Okay. I would definitely say the Necklaws are the next threat, quote-unquote, on the horizon. I would definitely think that Spirit Tamers might impact the meta on a 1.5 scale, but I don't think that they're good enough on the current tier list to keep up with the metagame. I hate to say that because I do like the art on the Spirit Beast, but I don't think that they're good enough yet. How do I go about 3.0? My 3.0 is based on personal experience. The way that I make card choices, the way that I value things are all based on my experience from playing this game since 2007 competitively. I value things much higher, much lesser, based on the experiences and things that certain players tell me. That's how my personal 3.0 is demonstrated. It's kind of like a way of not explaining something that I would have a hard time explaining. That kind of makes sense. When did you start playing gadgets, and what was the most fun format playing the deck? I've been playing the deck since 07. The most fun format playing the deck was Frog FTK format, because if I opened up Doom Caliber against you, I won. I opened up Dimensional Fissure, I won. It was a very, very fun time. I know a lot of people hated the format, but I enjoyed the sackiness that existed in that format. Is Plan Secret even viable? Depends. We'll have to wait and see how things shape up. I just covered the deck the other day on the 25 Days of Christmas, kind of give people an idea, so we'll see. Can Heavy Storm return in the next 4 formats? I can't predict what cards are being designed in the next 4 formats, so I can't tell you that. What is your personal favorite boss monster? Probably Judgment Dragon. I enjoyed that card so much in the Christius 1 format that it was ridiculous. What do I think about Black Wings? Jack is asking. Soon you will get your 1900 special summon Bora and your level 7 synchro that can special summon a level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard. Then you might be good. Until then, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to suffer a little bit longer. What made you and keeps you so dedicated to machine decks? How do you stay focused only one deck while the game changes year after year? I enjoy the ability to just go to an event and just poop on people. It's not the only deck I'm focused on, not by any stretch of the imagination. I have Evil Swarm, Mermails, I had every good deck pre-Shadal's dropping. So it was pretty straightforward. It's just that's the only real deck that I take pride in playing, because I just kind of get the thrill of beating out other players when I'm playing the deck. I run 6 Samurais, but with the game so fast, it makes me want to make a new deck. I'm going to say this, I do have a 6 Samurai deck. I am on a profile that did 2-1 MKohl40 yesterday. Like, it was the guy's job. And he was very cocky about it. Do you think Thunder's family will ever get support? Bro Thunder's been rumored to be a card for years. It'll happen eventually. Infinite Stratos asks, what is your opinion on Harpies as a deck itself, weighed by its own merits, not scaling against other meta deck? Harpist, I think, will help the deck. The deck is a very good toolbox. The deck is also very good at destroying back row, but there's also a lack of back row to really destroy that you would consider deemed good to destroy besides MKohl40, because Burning Lake is a trainable card. So outside of the current meta, I would say the deck is good in its own merits, but in the meta, not so good. Thoughts on Infernoids? I haven't read any of them. I understand that you need Reasoning and Monster Gate to make them good, from what I've been told. The archetype, when I initially read them, kind of confused me, but we'll see. NATO Production says, hey, I noticed you're a little slimmer. Have you been doing any diets or workouts lately? Just eating less, to be honest with you. Cutting back on your metabolism kind of helps, so it's something I was told. If this has not been asked yet, is trading for ban cards worth it? Yes, it is. It depends how much time and resources you're putting into it, but it is definitely worth it. Eventually all cards will get reprinted. It's just the inevitable downfall of the game. Why is the meta so trashy? Because Yugioh is ran by Konami. I don't know. It's trashy because we're sick of the same shit. And we're always getting the same rehash shit. So it's pretty straightforward. The meta can be really fun if you really enjoy playing MKohl40, but it's opinion-based. I mean, I miss my heroes. Michael Sarkis, besides gadgets, what is my favorite archetype? And what is your favorite deck to play competitively and for fun? Frog FTK is my favorite deck to play. My favorite archetype was Christius 1. Lightsworn. I don't know if you consider that an archetype, but definitely probably the Charmers. I'm definitely looking forward to them getting some support, I hope. Is the new Yugioh movie going to be canon? I believe so. Why can't you make videos, like, with no background, car, vehicle noise? The fan of my computer goes ballistic. I don't have any other way of really doing it. I wouldn't mind getting a new external mic eventually. I think it would make my life hell easier. Um, I definitely think that it would be nice to do so. Also, there's a lack of videos like this because people get sick of having this shit happen every once in a while. But I definitely think that I might make a GoFundMe to get a microphone or something like that. Besides paying rent and stuff like that, not really much left from YouTubing in general besides buying stuff to keep people happy, general interacting with the community. 25 Days of Christmas has been pretty expensive, but I mean, it's Christmas time. There's no reason not to enjoy doing things like this. Ryan Slot, do you think Burning Abyss were given too much power, or power at all? Meaning, do you think Konami, involved in the creation of the TCG prints, should have developed an entirely TCG archetype? Sincerely, a salty power creep style player. Burning Abyss were Noble Knights on crack. They took everything that they learned from Noble Knights. Hell, they even released the final support for Noble Knights, and the deck still sucks. The thing is, though, I think Burning Abyss were designed in such a way that, yes, they did overly power creep them. I think it was a good step in the game's direction, though, because Konami is learning, at least the TCG side is learning, about how to build stuff. So I definitely think that they need to get nerfed, but I definitely think that it's a right step in the right direction. Not saying that's a good or a bad thing, but it's working out. What's the deal with gadgets and your competitive play in the future? Would love to see you top again with them sometime in the future. Eventually, yes. I need more back row though. Tengu coming back kind of helps, but we'll also have to line me up in a format where I can enjoy playing. Do you think we'll ever see gadgets top a large event again? Yeah, it's possible, as it is a definition of rogue, but can side your even main triple shattering, prism mirror, light, and prism mirror vanities, and a host of other meta cards. The problem is there isn't a lot of anti-meta cards at the moment to exist. I think we need more anti-meta stuff to really exist. When will you finally add me on Facebook, Robbie? I'm Aaron's Asian friend. Facebook has this magical 5,000 cap. I have 4,999 friends, so people can still add me as friends. I can't add. I have fucking 500 pending requests. There's only so much I can do. Cyberpunk Alchemist asked, why aren't psychics viable? My good friend Billy Fulfer is always constantly working on the deck. He topped a few regionals with the deck. When I have something from him, I will get it up for you, though. Do you have a job outside of YouTubing? If so, what is it? I have my own online card shop in Cool Games. Pretty much just make money off of Yugioh, though. So no job outside of this, unless you count my business. That's about it, though. You're going to upload some duels soon, DN or IRL. Like I've explained before, IRL duels are very near impossible because I don't really have a locals to attend at the moment. But I might get into DN a little bit in the new format with Netcloth. We'll see. I studied business in college, and I run my own online card shop for work. How many often do you see people that are subscribed to you on your channel and how they treat you? A lot of my subscribers are actually, like, afraid to talk to me. They were like, I guess they feel that I'm some overly famous person and they're afraid to talk to me. No, it's never the case. Some of the people I've met have been very nice. Overall, I've had good experiences. Don't be afraid to say hello to me. I'll shake your hand. Sometimes I'm not exactly... I'm not going to say, like, I'm not the meanest person, but when you come up to me and you say hi to me in the middle of a trade, I might shrug you off a little bit. That's not me trying to be a dick. It's just you having bad timing. I definitely sometimes don't know how to address people either. I mean, I'll shake your hand. Sometimes I get a little bit clammy myself when I'm talking to people. It's just the way that it is, though. So definitely enjoy meeting my subscribers. You guys make this channel possible. So do keep that up. Valhite, what are my top 7 favorite Pokemon? Kabutops, Haunter, Blaziken, probably Arceus, the god of all Pokemon, Darkrai, probably Charizard coming in at number 6, and probably Deoxys Defense. I really like that bulky little fuck. Snorlax should somewhere be in there as well. But those are probably my favorites off the top of my head. The man behind, why do you sometimes get so much dislikes? Because I do stupid shit every once in a while that people dislike. Have you played against agents like a year ago? And if so, what advice would you have? Advice to play against them? Oh, have I played agents? Yeah, probably a year ago was the last time I picked them up. There's not really much advice I can give you. Venus and the Shine Ball just isn't as good because the rank 2s kind of suck now. What first got you into gadgets? I've explained this already, but it was looking at Japan's meta of chaos and seeing how they were destroying the metagame over there that I kind of fell in love with them. Can Reborn Tengu work in a Hermit Yokai deck? Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that the deck will be pure. Tengu coming back, though, is a very interesting choice on Konami's part. Is Leo Keeper of the Sacred Tree a good counter to the meta in some decks? I would say yes. I still think, though, that Star Eater is your only real answer to Killer, though. VAR Vision Gaming. Do you feel Lightsworns can still compete with meta decks? Lightsworn Dragon Rulers can, yes. Honest came back. Please, destroy the meta. I am 25 years old. If you could erase an archetype from the game, what would it be? Burning Abyss. Line up our ban list with Japan, reunify us, and I would say let's go. Plague Spreader 64. I assume you're a U.S. citizen, but what state? I live in Indiana. I'm 20 minutes from the Michigan border, 20 minutes from the Ohio border, roughly 2 hours from the Chicago, Illinois border. When Shaddoll are eventually power creep, do you think they will become an engine in future top decks? I would definitely say they could be. Their support is not done yet, though. If you were a Yu-Gi-Oh card, what would your card effect be? I'd probably be like, discard a card, gain 500 attack, because, I'm going to eat that card. Why don't I make more duel videos? Zero interest in the game at the moment, and to top things off, I would definitely say that going to locals is not that possible. There are really no good players in my area except for 2 to 3 people, and getting them to sync up schedules with me is near impossible. Plus, I don't have anything new for the current format, so there's no real point in doing real-life duel videos. Optic Shad. How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? You win this round. I don't have an answer to that. What kind of cards help the consistency in all decks? Draw cards. Pot of Greed. Raigeki, things like that. Okay. So, Gerardo Rodriguez. Robbie, I've been playing this game for 10 effing years. It's not like Snatch Steal is going to be super broken, but don't say the card is not good because it's power creeped with the years. Everyone that has played this game for a long time knows the card was despicable, not because your opponent would sack you, no, because it's one lucky draw that can allow you to take control of one of your opponent's monsters. Yeah, Bring Control was a card, and it's banned now. So now tell everyone that it's better with MST and Vanity Semnus for crying out loud. MST is at 3 is not a thing that has done a thing for the game since Heavy Storm got banned. The only reason we don't get fed up with back row is because the starting player only draws 5 cards and most trap cards limited to 1, but according to you, it is still way better to MST Snatch Deal than Emptiness. Why would I not MST Snatch Deal and let the Emptiness die? Because of its own effect. I'm just saying. That's the thing. Crafty. Which format do you think has been the worst for diversity of decks being played? I would definitely say the Rescue Cat format. I really did not enjoy that format at all. Do you think big decks, Quill Burning Abyss, Shaddolls will be relevant after Necros are released? Quill Forts and Burning Abyss will be relevant. I think Shaddolls are going to rotate out, though. What is your favorite Billy deck? Not talking former tier deck. I mean downright bad but funny deck. Not sure, to be honest with you. Do you have cards in your collection that hold sentimental value to you? If so, which and why? I have an entire collection of signed cards from my subscribers that I do keep very personal and high regard because you guys did take time out of them to sign them. Do you have any stories about standing up for younger kids at local attorneys? No, we really don't have younger kids at my locals. It's kind of sucky. What do you think is a fair price for a custom mat? $25. Why do you feel that number is valid? Because $25 is just acceptable, considering that old custom playmats used to be $50, and knowing printing costs and general things like that, it just gives them accurate amount of money and, proper cost to mail out the mat as well. Entering a Yu-Gi-Oh event as a group of individual to have a deck represented at EX, 20 decent players go to a YCS. The Snipe Hunter Ojama deck, and all agree to run the same list, and some of the top skewing people's perception and theoretically making others misjudge the deck as good or bad. It is a thing. Certain people will play the same list to try to confuse people in the metagame. Patrick Hoban does a very excellent job of this. He'll play the lesser known deck going into the format, and then he'll keep the better list for the next event because everyone will copy his list that he's already playing, and he'll play the better list to counteract that. I don't think a lot of people, have caught on to that. Can I lose weight and get a girlfriend instead of flopping my tits over a children's card game? But you're here watching my video, which means you have an interest in what I am doing. I'm just saying. No, not today. Why are gadgets your favorite deck, and where do you see this channel in 5 years? I see this channel probably still being here in some way, shape, or form, whether or not everything is archived or not. And gadgets are my favorite deck because reasons I've explained already. What are your thoughts on balance of this next format? This next format's looking pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie about that. Louis DeLongo, do you think Maoches are a viable deck? They're not as viable as they used to be. They were a good deck. They have a Stratos that searches for everything in the deck. Unfortunately, they need more powerful trap cards. They've kind of rotated down in terms of trends, though. Do you think Harpies would be a viable deck when they get Harpy Harvest? Possibly. Anything is possible. Do you prefer Yugioh Pro or DevPro or Dueling Network? I like DevPro. I need to go find the installer, though, since I wiped my computer. Snatch Deal in the XYZ or Synchro play. I think it would be good for Synchro base X or even a quick XYZ play. Yes, I agree with you. I'm not sure about the rulings on this thing, though, because it seems that the card stays present on the field even if the monster is gone. I believe Snatch Deal would fade away once it's unequipped. I definitely would say that if you XYZ with it, Snatch Deal goes to the graveyard because the monster is no longer equipped. I could be wrong, but you'd have to talk to your local judge about that. You said in the recently you never really enjoyed playing Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Why is it you don't enjoy playing this game anymore? And can you see yourself coming back competitively again in the future? I do see myself coming back. It's just MKohl40, Burning Abyss, and things like that were too expensive even for me. And like I said, I've been busy with life, so there really hasn't been much time for me to do anything. I've been having more fun with Vanguard. I definitely will come back, though, when that class drop. I'm definitely looking forward to that deck. Do you stay involved with it because of your channel, or are you still genuinely interested in it? I keep up with the game with my Skype call. There's 22 people in it. They play the game actively. I'm always listening. I mean, just because I don't play the game doesn't mean I'm not keeping up with it. I keep up with the channel because it is a source of interaction. I've come to enjoy the community in regards to talking to you guys through this channel. I definitely think that I would miss this channel if I didn't keep up with it. But this channel does help keep me interested in the game, to be completely honest with you. In your videos, you seem to have a very good understanding of the game, the meta, and the trends of Yu-Gi-Oh! More so than a lot of high-level competitive players I know. You used to stay competitively and came third at YCS, not sure if you ever did better, but do you think if you played competitively again, you could still top or win? My friend M has always told me this. If I had an interest in playing Tier 1 decks like MKohl40, Burning Abyss, that I would do much better. The thing is, I really just don't have an interest in playing those decks competitively, because when I play competitive, I enjoy playing something out of the box, and something a lot more entertaining to my personal preference. When I played Netclaw, or when I played Teledad with Necroface, I enjoyed just punishing other Teledad players for going Allure, removing my Necroface, banishing Malicious off the top of the deck, or even the wind-up hand loop, because I love hand loop decks in general. They're very fun. I just personally feel that my own ambitions blind me and really don't, allow me to really do better playing decks outside of things that I feel suit my personal taste. What other possible wild cards do you think can come off the ban list? Yatagarasu, I don't know. Fiber Jar, maybe. I think that Fiber Jar is still very dangerous to come back, though. How can I get back into Yu-Gi-Oh? Serious to be asked. I'm pretty lost in how to understand the current format. I used to play with friends, but it was just basic stuff with structured out. I'm pretty well versed in the rules, but if you could make a recommendation on where to go to be refreshed on everything, that would also be appreciated. I would start by reading up on probably the European coverage for the past few events, because they still have top 8. I would read about the feature matches. I'd post some questions on Facebook groups, if you have anything. I'd read up on previous formats, and I think that would help you kind of get reacquainted with the game in some way, shape, or form. I guess getting an understanding for previous formats would be where I would start. Dylan Frost asks, how and what do you play versus Shadell's Burning Abyss, Cool Fort, and Stellar Knights? What decks counter these decks? What cards should I pick up? Neckcloth is going to be about the only thing you're going to have the chance to, play. It kind of sucks to say that, but there's just no miracle deck that you can play right now. Maybe Lightsworn and Mermills. I'd probably honestly pick up Mermills because they're kind of budgety if you actually want to have a chance to play against the meta. Harold Dorvolk asks, what is better at Yu-Gi-Oh? US or Europe? I would say that both have their merits, but I like Europe right now because they have top 8, or top 32 playoff, again, which is very good. Deantro13 asks, what are your top 5 favorite animes or favo anime? Clannad, Rumbling Hearts, Gundam, probably Wing. Death Note is highly up there. And I don't know what my 5th one would be off the top of my head, unfortunately. What do you think Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V as it started out? It started pretty loud, but the last couple of episodes were pretty good. I have not caught up on the series. The show is definitely a lot better than Zell, though. Do you think the ban list was meant not to exclusively ban limit anything, but seeing the impact of Dark Law on the meta, considering that it was a formidable threat, the current big 3? Dark Law is not much of a threat as you think it is. It can be easily removed with Regeki and Dark Hole, or general things like that. Also, do you think the Konami here TCG is crazy about money? Yes, they are. They're a community. They're a business. Why would they not like money? Do you think a fair amount of the community is very judgmental and spoiled in response to the organization's questionable actions? Yes, of course. We're always going to be, I guess, spoiled in regards to that. Just how our community is in general. My favorite archetype related Yu-Gi-Oh! Mechanic. My favorite archetype related mechanic. Probably the spirits. I kind of liked how they would bounce back to their hand. What we're all dying to know, where are you driving to and from in all of your videos? A job. I usually just leave my house to go to Walmart to get envelopes and shit if I run out. General things like that, or food for the day. Why do I play gadgets? Gem Knight Master asked. Ford explained that a couple of times. But once again, based off of Japan and their trends from back in 2005, 2006. Gem Knight Master also asked, in the summer I want to go to my first YCS. Can I have some advice? I actually did a video series on how to prepare for regionals. I'd look those up. Definitely just be prepared. Take only the minimal amount of stuff that you need and bring some fucking snacks. And water. Cannot stress that enough. Justin Shamar, can I have your toaster oven? Only if you pay me for shipping and the price of the toaster oven, and I will mail that out to you. What is my opinion on Noble Knights? Everyone seems to hate them. Do you? Yes, I've always hated Noble Knights. The deck isn't good. The archetype in design could have been way better. I just think even with 3 Rhoda, the deck is still terrible. It's kind of funny, though, because everyone thought Rhoda would be the deck savior, but because they're always like, oh, they need a search card. Well, they got the original search card. They're still not that good. Who's my favorite YouTuber and why? Dexicus4666 puts so much time and effort in his videos, it's ridiculous. The guy needs way more subscribers. Galactic God's my second. I like the time and effort and the design that he puts into his videos via graphics. Very nice. What do I think of the new synchros? I think they're very good. I do like the new level 7 one coming out. The Excel Synchro stuff is also pretty cute. Robbie, what was your first competitive deck? I remember playing some random major local event back in like 2004 with like Injection Fury Lily, Gemini Elf the deck. So I'd definitely say that. And Nightwing asks, why do you state cards are garbage instead of actually explaining why they're bad cards? This is usually based on my theory of preference. Sometimes I can't explain why I value things less. I also kind of expect you guys to understand this, because if I have 4 or 5 players telling me the card's bad, and they're like, oh, well, you know, it's generally the whole competitive scene, it's pretty much the reason why I said Snatch is bad. It's Regeki Syndrome. The card will either be mained or sided. Same thing, you know, I'm expecting with Snatch Steal in some way, shape, or form. So it's just usually from personal experience. Sometimes I just come off terribly as explaining things. So that is the end of explaining everything and answering what I can for you guys. Please leave a comment down below. I might do something like this again. I hope that you got your guys' questions answered. And I'm out, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support. And please check out MKohl40 for Cardfight Vanguard, MKohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.